Recently, Logan Paul has jumped into the NFT game, not just collecting and trading, but launching his own project, CryptoZoo. Not to be confused with the weird indie animated movie that came out earlier this year. Yes, that's a real thing, apparently. Also not to be confused with cryptozoology, or the study of animals not yet proven to exist. True story. I had a Bigfoot video go pretty viral at the beginning of 2018, got 500,000 views on a channel that had zero previous traction. That actually happened. I think it's a Sasquatch. Back to the point, Logan Paul's CryptoZoo is interesting in a few ways, and it's a total eye roll in other ways. I've read the white paper, let's break it down. CryptoZoo combines some of the best features of NFT predecessors like Pokemon or even Crypto-kitties. There are two kinds of NFTs in the CryptoZoo, eggs and animals. And just like in nature, the animals come from the eggs. And what do eggs do? You guessed it, they hatch. So users can hatch their eggs to find out what kind of animal they have, and more importantly, how rare that animal is. Those animals could be common, uncommon, rare, super rare, or epic. And this is where CryptoZoo gets really interesting. Users can then breed their animals with other animals on CryptoZoo. So say you have a gorilla and your friend has a butterfly. You could breed them and get new CryptoZoo animals, like a butterlaw or an ape fly. Very Pokemon-esque. Now, these images you're seeing, they're not programmatically generated, and they're not templated like a lot of other NFTs. Each of these has been created by Logan Paul's team, and there are a simple finite number of them, just to be clear. Okay, you've got some eggs, you hatched them, you've bred some animals, and now you've got a couple generations of CryptoZoo animals. You can do a few things. Holding the animals will produce a yield in Zoo tokens, so it's an NFT that pays you for just hodling. But to access that yield, the owner needs to relinquish the animal back into the wild, which simply means you're sending it to a dead-end address and you're burning the NFT. You can keep breeding them up to 7 times. Each time an animal is bred, it needs to cool down for a period before it can be bred again. After the animal has been bred the limit of 7 times, the animal is then released into the wild and the player automatically receives their Zoo tokens when this happens. Of course, you could sell the animal for Zoo tokens at any time. Makes sense. When everything is up and running, CryptoZoo will have an auction house to buy and sell animals as well. I wonder if there will be CryptoZoo speciesists like there are human racists? Like, are there going to be people trying to preserve bloodlines? No, I will only breed my butterfly with other butterflies. I feel like this is a Vice article waiting to happen. Zoo tokens are a utility token that drive the ecosystem to buy eggs, breed animals, speed up recovery times after breeding, and for marketplace purchases. If you're interested in the tokenomics, those are plainly explained in the white paper, and they're very simple. You can read it and understand it. So that is CryptoZoo, functionally a cross between Pokemon and Crypto-kitties. Let's talk about the good and the bad, because there's a bit of both. Good. Logan Paul is actually doing something pretty new with this project. These aren't just collect and sit on them NFTs, and there isn't just a set number issued at the very beginning. There are actual gameplay mechanics here and tokenomics, and I think that's one of the most interesting things you can do with NFTs, and it hasn't really been explored yet. Not really. This is still pretty basic, I know, but it's more than a lot of other projects are doing. This is the beginning of NFTs as a dynamic, novel asset in the metaverse, the kind of thing that starts to look like Ready Player One after a while. And that's exciting. Bad. These are visually, I just think they are very dumb. I mean, Logan Paul talks about how he has a team of artists that have been producing these for months, but they're just not interesting. Photoshopping 2 animals together, that's as old as the internet and Photoshop. I remember thinking that was cool in 2004 when I saw it as Photoshop Friday on somethingawful.com. These are visually indistinguishable from that. Same exact thing, gamified. I know the CryptoPunks and Pudgy Penguins are just cartoon illustrations, but that's kind of the point with those. I don't think the visuals on this are compelling at all. Good! The white paper says specifically, this is meant to bring new people into the NFT space. Paul and his team have designed this to be appealing and easy for newcomers, and they've really demonstrated their commitment to that. At first, they planned to deploy this on the Ethereum blockchain, but gas fees were too high. That's a barrier to entry, so they decided to switch to the Binance Smart Chain. But then there were restrictions with Binance too. KYC, Know Your Customer, where they require you to register with a government ID and you're subject to different jurisdictions. It's a whole thing. Now they're doing both. They say they're building a bridge. It's explained in the white paper. I'm curious how that will look in practice. Bad. The launch has gone not well. Feedback on Twitter has been universally negative. They've had some pretty serious technical issues when they open up the egg hatching, and all you have to do is scroll through the responses on the announcement. It ain't pretty. People are upset. Good. Logan Paul comes to the space rightly. He's not some interloper just trying to get in on the NFT excitement and make some easy cash. He seems to be really interested in the possibilities here. Not only has he spent some time working on this, more than a lot of other NFT projects, he's been in the collectible space for even longer. Paul's videos about opening vintage Pokemon cards generated 31.8 million views just last year. Who better than Paul to reinvent the game? He even tried to license actual Pokemon for this concept.
I started with 2 ideas that I could not do. One of them was Club Penguin. And then I wanted to do it with Pokemon. Looked into getting the licensing for that. Impossible.
Good luck.
Surprise, surprise. He was unable to license the most profitable media franchise on Earth. You heard that right. Pokemon is the most profitable media franchise on the planet, above Star Wars, Mario Brothers, Harry Potter, Marvel, anything, which is wild. So maybe CryptoZoo will turn into an awesome NFT ecosystem and the Zoo token will go to the moon. Maybe gameplay will be amazing. He says it's already addictive for little kids, a debatable topic for another day, but I just don't see this as a winner yet. The Photoshoppery is tired. It's been done. 20 years ago it was done. It's hard to imagine a more generic egg than the one they show, and they are all exactly the same. This isn't exciting. If we're looking for a real NFT artist, you know who's interesting? Schlomz. This freaking guy, this is an artist. I became aware of him when he was playing with ways to essentially break Twitter by using non-standard characters in virtually every field he could. He's some anonymous artist in New York, and he did a modern homage to Marcel Duchamp called FNT and Fountain, and it's an NFT project where he smashed a urinal, then digitized the shards and sold them as NFTs. Everything this guy does breaks the internet. He's pushing the boundaries on platforms and technologies, and that's art, testing limits. Photoshop hackery from 20 years ago? Without even realizing it? That is not art. I could be wrong. Logan Paul may be the Leonardo da Vinci of our generation, but I doubt it. What do you think? Is CryptoZoo awesome? And I just don't get it because I'm an old man? Is Logan Paul a savant? Let me know. Leave it all down in the comments. Thanks, team. We will talk again soon.